Alright, we are out here at the in-ground garden at my in-laws. If you've watched my other videos, you already know we are behind, but we're chugging along as best we can. I brought out a bunch of peppers and tomatoes, and this is a tray of zinnias and nasturtiums and some borage. And my dill, which hopefully will forgive me for having to sit in its pot for so long, we'll find out. This is the amount of garden space that we have actually covered. We're still working on covering all of the rest here. I know everybody's gonna say, why don't you just get a chip drop order and then you would have wood chips to work with? Well, as much as this city is growing by leaps and bounds, thankfully and unfortunately at the same time, this area is still too far out. We cannot get wood chips delivered for free. We would have to pay an arm and a leg. So we're just making do with cardboard and straw. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest this broccoli today. It did rain on us a little bit yesterday. So you can see it is starting to have flower thoughts. But it's grown a decent size, honestly, given that it got put in pretty late. And we'll leave it in the ground probably for a while and just keep eating the leaves as well. So, yeah, that's the one that I cut the head off last time. So I'll cut these other two, even though they're little, just because, unfortunately, that is the stage we are in with the heat at this juncture. And my darling husband is here to assist me. Only minor coercion was used. Maybe it's the guilt talking. I can't get my words out. He does not love gardening, but as I said in my short, huh?
I said because I did this stuff all when I was a kid.
You're all gardened out for the rest of your life?
I mean, until I have my own land.
Yeah, hopefully we can get that done soon.
When it's convenient right outside, sure.
Yeah.
But when I gotta go somewhere.
Okay, stand over here in the shade so that we're not frying and everybody can see us. So the plan is to get all of that stuff in the ground, as much of it as we can anyway. I wanted to bring more, but I was trying to be realistic. I know, don't laugh at me. I try. Aren't you excited? I put that short on there about you helping me put plants inside and outside a million times while they were hardening off, and thanking you, and you had lots of fans. The ladies were very impressed. It's good to have a partner that is willing to help you, even if they don't enjoy it. I try not to put him in a position to have to do it all the time, but sometimes it's just where things fall.
Yeah, and I said if you need something, let me know, but let me know ahead of time.
I try.
If you can.
I try. So anyway, I wish we could film some process, but unfortunately it's warm enough out here that I think my phone would probably overheat and the video quality would just be garbage. So we're gonna get as much done as we can, and I will take a few update shots here and there, and then we'll do a quick walkthrough at the end, and I'll show you what we got done. We're beating back some extra weeds at the edge so we don't lose any of the space we've already got prepared, and we're putting posts in to hang the trellis for some of the tomato plants. Alright, so we got a little more cleared. Don't mind Possum, he's over there losing his mind. He's excitable. Thomas went to get a hatchet out of the garage because this biggest, I don't know exactly what it is, it's some form of wild carrot family plant, but I swear that biggest, tallest one is probably almost 10 feet tall now, and it's big enough at the base that we were able to take the other ones out with the hoe, but I'm gonna let him use a hatchet and enjoy it because it's a manly thing that guys enjoy. And I'm gonna let him handle that, and then we'll pull those biggest ones out of there, and then I think we'll have enough length for just the one cattle panel I don't think it's a cattle panel. I think it's a hog panel that we have. I can't remember for sure. Anyway, it was free. The price was right. So we'll hang that up against those posts. I think they're U-posts that I bought the first year I moved out here. And then that's where we're gonna plant our first line of tomatoes. What is that?
Honestly, the other reason that I don't feel like doing this that often anymore.
Yeah,
Hold
I
that
know.
while I get more cleaner.
What is that? Is it like a scythe? Similar kind of tool? I've seen these before, I just can't remember what they're called. If you remember, drop it in the comments. Looks like he found this instead of an axe. A bigger bladed whacking tool, even better. Okay, so we got the panel put up and tied up. Posts are in fairly deep. And the nice thing about making this no-till is we don't have to pull posts in and out of the ground every year, so I'm excited for that. Are you excited for that, Thomas? Because you always have to help?
I don't care.
You don't care?
Ideally, you don't live in the area.
Yeah. Well, we might. We'll see. We don't know what's going to happen. We also can't find the bigger spade for digging tomato holes, so we're making do right now with the little hand shovel that I have, the hand trowel. And as soon as my mother-in-law gets home, I'm sure she'll be able to tell us where the shovel got put. So we'll just make do with what we got. As we put these tomatoes in the hole, I'm gonna put a handful of calcium powder, which is just eggshells that I baked and put through my blender. And then a small handful of this, just a dusting. And these are Sweetie Pole Cherry tomatoes. This raggedy looking little marigold, I say little, this is that big tall one from the raisin container if you watched my other videos. But this is the first flower to go in the in-ground garden this year. So I thought, even though it's not in the best shape, it's got 3 buds with new flowers, and it is planted deep. And I think that that is worth celebrating. Alright, we are back the next day. We ran out of time on Sunday, so this is Monday evening. I chose to come out a little bit later, about 6 o'clock, 20 till, after the worst heat of the day has passed. But these tomatoes, these are the only ones we actually got in the ground yesterday because there was so much setup work that needed to be done yet. And one day in, I don't see any signs of shock. They look pretty happy. That one maybe looks a little shocky, but not too bad. So let's get their brothers and sisters in here. Alright, we're losing light. I don't know how we'll be able to see, but I just wanted to show you guys. I told you out at the in-ground garden, we have very clay-heavy soil, especially in this hole I dug. You can see when you run your finger through it, it's very, very firm. And when I dig it out, I get these big hunks, and they break up fairly easily as long as it's fairly damp. We've had a lot of rain, thankfully. But over the years, it's had enough stuff amended into it that it is really good soil. Like I said in another video, when my husband was a kid, they had a family garden in this location, and they did a lot of amending with cow manure and horse manure and stuff like that. So with all the amending, the clay being here, so many people think clay just is a bad thing in a garden, but because of the high clay content that is still in the soil, it retains moisture really well, which has saved us many times when nobody had a chance to get out here and water. Things managed to survive just fine because that dirt didn't dry out super quickly. That's a prairie fire tomato. And I'm going to put another one there, and I'm going to put a tomato cage in the middle. That's something I'm sort of experimenting with to make the most of my supplies this year because money's tight for this project, is doing 2 tomato plants on either side of a tomato cage and tying them to the rings. So we're going to do 5 or 7 tomato plants in this row here, and I planted them. I will get a panel to put here and probably do beans or I'll probably do cucumbers over there. And I planted the rest of the tomatoes along this. We've got brandywine. Can you tell what one of my favorite tomatoes is? And those are oxhearts. And then I think I already showed you, those are the ones we planted yesterday, the pole cherries and the Principi borghese. And then I did get 3 little baby okra plants put in. And I want to take a second to thank she used to be my neighbor, and she has since moved, but we're still in contact. And she was in town and traded me a couple okra babies that she had started for some bok choy babies that I had coming out my ears. And Danny, I'm so glad you gave me these, because we have been so late getting the garden in that it would be forever before my mother-in-law especially had okra. She loves okra, so people will appreciate having this before the end of July because I am going to put some Clemson spineless and Alabama red okra in, but because I'm going to be direct sowing those seeds, it's going to be much longer before we get anything out of them. So thus is the advantage of starting things from seed prior to the start of when you can put them outside. So, I want to share with you real quick too. These are Cherokee beets, and I accidentally pulled one out yesterday when I was weeding, because we have some weeds that look a lot like those when they're small, and I cut it open and I tried it, and I could not believe how good it was just raw. It tastes a little bit earthy like a beet, but it was really, really sweet. Like, you could almost blend it up with coconut cream and make it into a dessert. Wild stuff, and they're gorgeous. So, this is where we're at. Hi, Smog. Are you gonna be the garden kitty? Huh? It's almost hard to see you in this lighting. So, I spritzed some water on things because I had no idea a storm was coming, and I checked the weather. But in the evening pre-thunderstorm light, got our potato and broccoli bed, and then our tomato panel, which is completely planted now. And then, oh man, it is getting dark. Our okra seedlings, I put a little bit of eggshell powder around them just to help other people working out here recognize them not as weeds, because we got all this business going on behind them. And then this row of tomatoes, which I had fully convinced myself I was going to get planted tonight, but I'll be back probably tomorrow. I just set them in the holes they're gonna go in, and we'll take care of it tomorrow. What do you think, Smog? Can you watch it tonight for me? Huh? What do you think? It's so dark you can't see the black cat. So, we'll say goodnight to our lone marigold and our currently only garden flower, and our garden cat. And we'll do another day tomorrow, and hopefully I can get the rest of these tomatoes in. My plan is to put a cucumber trellis up here. So, oh, I feel rain.